All right, the watch list for Thursday. Got a great week going, and let's hope to keep it going here. NYMX. I'm actually starting with my favorite setup for tomorrow. Doesn't mean it'll play out. Doesn't mean it'll give me a setup. Doesn't mean it'll give me an entry. But this is my favorite setup for tomorrow. Had this huge move here. It just kind of worked its way back lower into the 20-day, and then another huge move over 10 million shares. And now you've got 2 days lower declining volume. It's a great setup for a potential bounce on NYMX. NVGN, Novogen, just want to watch this one. It's finding buyers down here at the 8-day moving average. Possible long tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup. SZYM just goes back on Bounce Watch. I had it on Bounce Watch for today. Never gave a setup, so it just goes back on the list for tomorrow. GENE, nice spike today. We caught a great trade in this one at like 473, I think, 474, something like that. And it went all the way to 520. It ended up kind of grinding lower on lower volume the rest of the afternoon. But just to see this kind of move that it can make, it goes back on watch. We had it on Bounce Watch today after those 2 days lower, and we got a great trade in it. GB, speaking of great trades, GBSN, played this as a gap play this morning. It was having a really, really big volume in the pre-market. I looked it up and saw that it was a nice low float stock. Let me switch to shorter time frame candles here. All right, it looked like this. These are 2-minute candles when I called it. The opening price right here was 484. Okay, so it went up, it immediately opened and pushed through 5. We don't like to chase at the open. I like to let it unfold a little bit, right? Comes down to almost 460, and then it was just kind of sideways. My thinking was if it gets back through the open, goes red to green, so I arbitrarily picked 487 because that's getting pretty close to that 5, and I figured the next push through 5 would really get us going. So I called it at 487, which is about here where my arrow is, with a 467 stop, and you can see what happened. Just ripped. Gave another possible entry around 545 for a possible add to add back some of the shares because we always sell into the first spike to lock in some profits and then maybe keep some. And that's exactly what I did. I sold up here, and then I re-added some right back here and then sold into this spike. I didn't sell any up near 6, but anyway, it was a huge trade. So having said all that, go to 5-minute candles. It did end up closing near its lows, so I kind of think this might have to come in for a day or two. But as I say in a lot of these videos, anytime you get, look at that, 16 million shares, low float stock, there's not a lot in the way above. Sellers definitely won the afternoon battle, but you want to keep this one on watch. Not just for tomorrow, but for the next week or so. And along that same vein, BIOC, hold on, my charts are going to be slow today. You had this huge move here, then a gap up, and then today has kind of found some support. So I want to watch this one. If it can hold this support for a potential long tomorrow. Again, only with a proper intraday setup, but that's another one that should be on watch, several days going forward. CMCM. This thing's really just flagging. All right, it had this huge move here from 18 to almost 26, and it's really just flagging. Nice volume today, and it's trying to break out of this flag. You get up through 24 with any kind of volume tomorrow. This one could be a good trade, so it doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart, so I will be watching it. Man, my charts are slow tonight. GNC, nice volume today, closed near its highs. If you go to, get that line off there, if you go to intraday, okay, got a spike on news here, and then never took out the highs of that spike, but it consolidated and just kind of moved sideways, which is good. You want to see it go sideways over time if you're going to try to play a break of today's high tomorrow. So I'm going to like this, up over 47, well, whatever today's high was. Up over 47.91. Having said that, if it gets to 47.92, that doesn't mean it's going to rip. So I'll have to watch it on an intraday basis. But I do like the pop here, and you might continue. You got a flag break. You might continue that flag break tomorrow. There could be several scenarios which I would take an entry. One might be a small gap down and then a red to green. So we don't know what's going to happen. But I definitely want to have GNC on a chart as well. And I'm keeping my list a little smaller. Going into tomorrow because we'll find some gappers too, and my lists have been a little bit big. But anyway, great week going. Let's keep it going, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow.